Juzzlers, welcome back to the channel. I think it's time we had a talk. The beta map is finally out after nearly 4 years of waiting, and while the player count is still high, I think there's still a little bit of pushback from the community and from some other people that I've been talking to on some of the features of this update. So my first impressions of the map, when all the bugs and stuff were happening, were actually pretty good. Now that the bugs have been fixed, and now that we're kind of left on our own in this map, and it's been about a week, I think the loot progression for me has been a little bit strange. I want to make very clear, this is different from the loot balancing. I think the balance tables for the loot have been amazing so far. I think that some of the map progression and loot progression have been a little bit weird, and I haven't quite known what to think. First off, if we look at the map, you can kind of spawn along this whole outer region, up right basically up into Ash and Lockport, which are the biggest cities on the map, save for maybe Magnolia. And the loot in Ash and Lockport isn't really what I expected it was going to be. I feel like, since I've been playing, the loot in Ash and Lockport pales in comparison to nearly everything on Ferris, that I would expect. Like, I think the loot in Naval is better, the loot in Magnolia is much better, and the loot in Prison is honestly better than the Ash and Lockport loot. Shipwreck 2, Junkyard, no, Truck Stop, no, and Salem, probably not, but those are more south. It's like, this north part of the map is where all of the combat, at least all of the geared combat that I have been a part of, is taking place. Some leaking out kind of into Fairview, some up into Mansion, and a little bit more kind of down through the bottom of Ferris. But I think it's a little bit strange. I, at least, haven't seen more combat elsewhere. I feel like it's a little bit too concentrated in that northern half of the map. Now, I understand that the map is bigger, so at the end of the day, this concentration, while high, still, isn't like the old Ashland, where that was just where you went for combat because it was the biggest city. I just, I think that something needs to be changed there, and I really want to know if people agree with me on that, because I could be totally wrong. Overall, though, with the bug fixes and stuff, I'm super, super happy with how everything feels now. I think that, stuff in my inventory is a lot smoother. I think it's easier for me to manage my inventory. I like the new UI. I actually think it's quite slick now that some of the problems have been fixed. I think some of the rendering is still a little bit off. It's to be expected that bugs are going to get fixed between now and probably a month from now, when hopefully most of the major issues have been solved. Another thing I want to talk about is, things like this, like these inaccessible zones. I think they're a little bit too prevalent. I don't know. I would want to know what you guys think about this too, but I understand that we can't have like crazy dense areas. And that's why in places like Ash, you've got a lot of these closed off doors and like empty stairwells where there aren't like a lot of objects. I just, I think it's a little bit interesting for someone like, me, who has been, we're gonna go to that combat. I don't know, I've been kind of used to, in Ashland where nearly everything was accessible. I'm a little bit surprised, I guess I could say, that some of the refinement in the loading techniques, like the chunking and stuff like that I don't really understand, but still aren't quite what I thought they were going to be. I thought this was going to be optimized to where, like, I'm lagging a little bit. I don't have my turbo fan on that's on this computer, but I'm lagging a little bit in Ashland just because, it's a huge area. Like, it's a very substantial part of the map, which is why I can't really understand why the gear doesn't reflect that. I really like how this river portion of the map looks. I think it looks good. I really like the map design and how everything is presented visually. I really, really enjoy it. I don't know why this keeps happening to me when I try to play. This is very interesting. This is the second time this has happened. I don't really know what happened, but we spawned back in Lockport. I need to have more experiences on this map with some things like this, and I'll definitely have a much more detailed report. This is just, kind of like the video says, the first week, what do I think about it? I think, though, there are some long-standing issues that I'd like to talk about at some point. We can see. We're gonna head up into Truck Stop right now. I haven't spent too much time here. Oh, actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this barn, because I think I know who's gonna spawn up here, because I recognize this barn. Oh, sure enough. We got some vets. Is the frog skin, right? Yes. I swear to God, I have the frog skin pants. Why can't I find the USMC Frogskin camo top. This is really weird to me too. I don't know why I can't find this. Why it's not showing the USMC Frogskin camo top, nor is it showing the pants. And I'm almost certain that I've unlocked them. Hey, this is another problem, I guess. I don't know why these aren't showing up. Yeah, okay, well, guess you saw it here first, fellas. Yeah, I don't know why that's the case. That's very strange to me. I really like the new locations, like the updated naval. This is awesome. I love the color scheme. I think the zombies are, you know, very well spread out. I just don't like that everything is in the north part of the map. I really do just want to hear what you guys think of the map, you know? I think a lot of players were looking for this map to be APOC 1 again, you know? APOC 1 Reborn, at least. I mean, that map, playing that map as a kid, you know, it scared me to death. I was terrified of that because it was so well done. It was big. There was so much to explore. I had such a fun time playing that. And I feel like with this one, there is a lot of stuff that's fun. Oh my goodness, this guy just scared me. It doesn't feel like what I thought it was going to feel like. Okay, you can say what, like, you know, Juz, you gotta take the blame for that, like you're overestimating, but I don't want to be overestimating. This is Apocalypse Rising 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be a better version of the first one, or at least an updated version. Honestly, I would, like, stuff like elevation changes in the map, you know, like, really, like, Kin in the original Apocalypse Rising was so dense and just had a lot to discover. And I think Ashland and Lockport now are living up to it in certain, like, just to that in certain ways, but probably not the full amount that, you know, they could be. Glad to see Private Joker is still here. I also really like the weaponry texturings. That's another thing. Like, the guns look super good, and, you know, I really like the look of the map, but I think it's in playing with both the new map and, you know, the gunplay. Oh, that could be its own video, the gunplay. I mean, it feels off to me. You know what I mean? APOC 1 definitely felt like that was not real. Like, that was just, like, to me as, like, a kid, I was kind of just like, oh, this is more of an exploration game. But the gunplay in that game was not as good as it is now, but I feel like even now, there need to be certain penalties on certain things. Again, I'm not really a developer. It's not my game, so I hate making just sweeping statements like, oh, fix the gunplay. Because I don't know what can be fixed with the gunplay. I think, though, that there does need to be a change, and I think that a lot of the more experienced players want to see that. I think I'm going to wrap up the ranting portion of this video, chuck in a little bit of fun combat, but maybe if some stuff comes up, I can talk about it. Thanks for watching this part of the video, at least. Let's get some combat in here.
Low-key, I think Juz, like, got the first kill on the new map when he spawned in.
Stabbed Wellesley? Yeah.
You know what? Stop resisting! Stop resisting! He's armor-clad.
He's quite low. Oh my goodness. Good night, buddy.
I mean, if there's another one down there.
Comms.
Oh.
Humvee.
No. Oh, you're.
Keep shooting at him.
I don't see him.
Oh.
Got him. Nice. Let's go, guys. The hill. One
Please.
dead. Oh my god, this server's laggy. Can you just... Poor fella. Two. Got one. Let's drop. Well, he's just fumbling around. He's trying to shoot. Okay, he only had 90 health. Peek again, buddy. 2 ghillies in here? Is he on the steps? Oh, get back here. Oh, yes. This guy's shooting at me? Okay, whatever. This dude's definitely still on the left, I think. What the f***'s happened? Oh my gosh, dude, this guy's so laggy. That's unbelievable, dude. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I want to be very clear that while I am critical of this game, it's because I like it a lot. Anything that you love, you should be critical about so that it can be better, and I live by that. Despite all of this game's flaws and, you know, some interesting decisions that have been made, I do still think that this is my favorite game on Roblox right now, and I think that it probably is my favorite game of all time. Apocalypse Rising is a franchise, that is. And I want to make sure that it can achieve that same status that it had in my mind when I was, you know, 13 years old, or maybe even 12 at the time, I don't even know. But that's why I'm being so critical of the game. That's why I'm suggesting all these changes, and why I'm asking people for their opinion on it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see other videos like this, kind of talking about how I feel about APOC, and asking some other people how they feel about it and whatnot. You guys know I love a good yap fest just as much as anyone else, so I'm always here for that. Tune in to some other videos on the channel. I've got some stuff planned. I've got some stuff that's APOC 2 related and some stuff that's not. Juzzlers, as always, it's been a wonderful time to have all of you here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.